American town. In the hills of Pennsylvania, there once stood a small, quiet mining town called Centralia. In the early 1900s, it was a peaceful community built around one thing: coal. The ground beneath the town was rich with anthracite coal, one of the most valuable fuels in America at the time. Hundreds of miners worked deep underground every day. Families lived in small houses, children played in the streets, and the town had everything it needed: schools, churches, shops, and a strong sense of community. By the 1950s, nearly 500 people lived there. Life was simple. Neighbors knew each other, and for decades, nothing unusual happened. But underneath Centralia, miles of abandoned coal tunnels stretched like a hidden maze. No one knew that those tunnels were about to become the beginning of a disaster that would never end. The fire that started it all. In May 1962, the town council decided to clean up a local landfill. The dump was located near an old mining pit. Workers used a common method at the time. They set the trash on fire to burn it away. At first, everything seemed normal, but something unexpected happened. The fire slipped through a small opening in the ground and reached an abandoned coal seam deep underground. Coal burned slowly but intensely. Once the fire reached the coal, it began spreading through the underground tunnels. No one realized it yet, but the town had just lit a massive underground fire, and that fire would continue burning for decades. Strange things began to happen. A few years later, strange signs began appearing around Centralia. Smoke started rising from cracks in the ground. The soil became hot to the touch. Residents noticed a strong smell of sulfur, like rotten eggs. Even the trees began dying in certain areas. At first, people thought it was just small underground fires, but the truth was much worse. The fire was spreading slowly through the coal mines beneath the entire town, and because those mines were connected like tunnels, the flames could move in every direction underground. The town was sitting on top of a giant hidden furnace. The ground starts collapsing. By the 1970s and 1980s, the situation became terrifying. The underground fire heated the ground so much that the soil began collapsing. Large cracks opened in roads and yards. Hot smoke poured out of the earth. In 1981, a 12-year-old boy named Todd Domboski nearly died when the ground suddenly opened beneath him. A sinkhole more than 45 meters deep appeared in his backyard. Toxic gases were rising from underground, including carbon monoxide, which can kill silently. Scientists warned that the town was becoming extremely dangerous. At that point, the government realized something shocking. The fire was out of control. The town was abandoned. The U.S. government tried several times to stop the fire. They attempted digging trenches, pumping water, and sealing tunnels. Nothing worked. By the 1980s, officials made a difficult decision. Residents would have to leave Centralia. The government offered money for people to relocate. One by one, families packed their belongings and moved away. Houses were demolished. Schools closed. Churches disappeared. By the 1990s, the once lively town had become almost empty. Today, only a few residents remain. Most of Centralia is now a ghost town, a fire that may burn for 250 years. Even today, more than 60 years later, the fire is still burning underground. Experts believe there are millions of tons of coal still feeding the flames. Some scientists estimate the fire could continue for another 200 to 250 years. Smoke still rises from the ground. The land remains unstable and dangerous. Roads have been closed, including the famous Graffiti Highway, which became a strange tourist attraction before it was buried by authorities. Centralia now stands as a haunting reminder of how a small mistake can create a disaster that lasts for centuries. A town once full of life, now slowly disappearing above a fire that refuses to die.